So this is, as I said, there are so many things I would like to talk about which the time will not allow me to. I would like to conclude my talk with an ayah from the glorious Quran, from Surah Yunus, Surah number 10, ayah number 108, in which God Almighty says, O mankind, the truth has come to you from your Lord. So whosoever is guided for the benefit of his own soul. And whosoever gets misguided for the loss of his own soul. And I am not over you a manager of affairs. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
Thank you, Brother Gaurav Ahmed, for your wonderful talk, and I appreciate the information you passed on to all of us in your talk, Jesus in Bible and Quran. Now, I invite Brother Sudhin Kumar, presently known as Brother Hamza, to come on the dais and tell us about his journey from Christianity to Islam. Brother Hamza was born and brought up in Bangalore and presently working as a team leader in BPO for a UK-based travel service provider. Brother Sudhin Kumar.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam, ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain, amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Inna ad-deena inda Allahi al-Islam. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri, wa yassir li amri, wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. A very good evening to our respected non-Muslim guests and my brothers and sisters in Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I stand here before you this evening to speak about and to tell you about my journey to Islam from Christianity. My journey to Islam has been a wonderful journey from the time I embraced it till now. So, my dear brothers and sisters, let me start by telling you who I was and what I used to do before Islam. I was born into a Protestant Christian family in the year 1980. And I grew up with a lot of aspirations and goals in my mind. And the major focus in my life was towards achieving great heights in the field of sports. And I actually flourished for quite some time in that field until I finished my schooling. I finished my schooling and then I entered into college. And as every college-going student undergoes this test, I went through this test and I got influenced by the culture of modern life, of enjoyment and bliss. So in college, it was pretty much just enjoyment for me. And I only believed that I have to live every moment of my life. That's all. And for me, enjoyment, let me tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, was either having a drink with a couple of my friends or spending time gambling somewhere. Now, this was college life, and as I grew older, I started drinking more and more. And then not a day would pass when I would not go drunk to bed. Alcohol became an integral part of my life. Then I would come home drunk, and my parents were very, very upset about the life I was leading. I would have fights with them. I would not respect them. I would come at whatever time I want. I would go whatever time I want. And I just didn't care. And I took life for granted. I thought that if I had a drink at the end of the day, all the problems that I faced would be resolved. And then I got myself a job. And when I got myself a job, my God, I achieved this freedom, personal freedom. I don't have to depend on anybody, right? Then I used to blow all my money visiting expensive pubs, restaurants, and gambling dens. Now, let me tell you, until this time, I was not a regular to church, and I only visited the church 2 times a year, once in Christmas and once in Easter, and sometimes on New Year's Day. But you know what we guys are up to, on New Year's Eve, right? Everybody knows what happens, right? We just get sloshed. And then we're on the roads wishing everybody Happy New Year. And then one day, my mother came up to me and she said, and she had a serious discussion. She said, "How long will you do this to yourself? Will you keep drinking all your life? Will you just keep enjoying yourself, not caring about what you're going to do?" And she said, "The only way you will achieve success is by reading the Bible and by going to church." So I was like, obviously I had this argumentative attitude, and I said, "Yeah, right. Thanks for your advice." I ignored her, and I did not take her seriously at all. And then every time we actually had a fight, she used to tell me, "You'll have to read the Bible and you have to go to church." And this went on and on and on until one day I was fed up of my drunken life. I was fed up of my drunken life because I didn't have anybody to move around with anymore. I had become a lonely drinker. And everybody used to avoid me because I used to get drunk all the time. So I actually decided to give this whole God thing that my mother was actually talking about a second thought in my life. So I started going to church every Sunday. And my parents were actually glad to see this, but nothing actually ever changed. I didn't stop drinking or anything. And many of my friends who were around me were astonished. They said, "This fellow used to drink every night, drink himself to sleep every night, and today he's actually going to church every Sunday."